Kia ora, everybody. Alright, let's click some buttons. We should be all good to go. Hello, everybody. Hello, Zoe, Colouring Bumblebee, Chaotic Colouring Dreams, and Double A. Kia ora, everybody. I hope we're all doing well today. I did go live a little early this morning, so I say a little, like 10 minutes, you know, like we start at 9, but sometimes we're a little early to the game. Partly because, well, I wasn't really ready. I was making myself ready. I got ready very quickly this morning. And by ready, I mean I rolled out of bed and had a cup of coffee, and then we hit go live. That's my morning routine. Roll out of bed, go to the bathroom, make my giant cup of coffee, and then press a button. But I did kind of get myself going a bit quicker this morning because I have a nibbling coming over today. Nibblings are the terms I use for my nieces and nephews. So yeah, we have nibblings coming over today. We have one nibbling coming over today. The other is with other grandparent, and they're a little unwell, so they're not allowed to come over quite yet, but one nibbling is coming, and we haven't seen nibblings in almost 2 months, so it'll be really wonderful to have them here with me pre-surgery. I could not afford to get sick with a autoimmune condition. When I get sick, not only do I catch like the cold or the flu super easily because my injection I normally take makes me immune compromised, when it does hit me, my immune system, instead of attacking what's making me sick, attacks my joints and bones, and I start swelling up and I get a lot of pain. So pre-surgery, I couldn't have a flare-up. And then for the next 6 weeks post-surgery, so for 4 more weeks, I'm not allowed to take my injection, which calms my immune system down and stops it attacking me. So we also can't have the kids making me sick because it's going to really send me spiraling in terms of my immune system. So yeah, so we haven't seen them in a while because they've been sick, and like love nibblings, love little kids, but they are germ factories, and it was just like nope. So had to keep ourselves going. But I'm looking forward to actually catching up with them and having some time. And this is the nibbling that likes to make up fun little stories with toys and all sorts of stuff, so it's always a good time. Yeah. Good morning, good evening, Colouring Bumblebee. Good time zone to you all. I only have 5 minutes of work left, so I'm just stopping. Valid. So nice to see you pop over my live the other day. I was so glad I could. I try to catch a lot of lives, but honestly, a lot of lives start at like 3:30 and 4:30 a.m. for me, or 5:30 or 6:30, and like 7 I can sometimes justify, but I'm usually not ready to go until about 8:30 in the morning to sit down, and by the time I sit down, most lives have finished, and I'm like, damn. But yeah, it's nice to catch them when I can. Yeah. Been waiting since you told me last night. Oh, I'm glad you can be here, Zoe. I hope you're feeling better. Glad your surgery went well. It went so well. Yeah, we're 2 weeks today, and I drove for the first time yesterday. We weren't meant to drive for 2 weeks because slamming on a brake in an emergency uses your core muscles, so you have to wait a while before you can drive safely. So I did a bit of a drive yesterday, just around the back roads and stuff, just to check I was feeling good. And as I was saying to Mum, like I could feel that it was a bit tighter in there when I was pressing the brake, but it wasn't like painful. It was just like, oh, it's a little tight, you know. Like again, I can tell I've had surgery, but it wasn't painful by any means. And then the car ran out of fuel, so I had to drive it into town anyway. So I love that you call them nibblings. Yeah, it's my way of still being able to talk about them while still not identifying anything about them and trying to keep them protected. Yeah, it's a generic term for them, but also nibblings is a cute term, you know. They are nibblings. I hope that goes well. Okay, still working on my coffee. I have my coffee, I have my water, I have my energy drink, and I have my painkillers. So, today we are back to Leon's journey, aka Shadow's journey. If anyone wonders where he is, he's outside at the moment because he wanted to go out. The little shite tried to sleep on me again last night, even though he's not meant to, so I woke up to a lot of pain. Thanks, cat. He's been very determined to sleep on my stomach these last few days. It's like, you're cute, and I like cuddling you, but also no, you're not allowed on my stomach. You know this. Right, I did not set up my cameras pre-stream, so apologies about this. A little bit of movement. But yeah, he's doing good. Oh. So yeah, he's definitely feeling the lack of utsies, which we will hopefully be able to start doing more and more of soon. Again, I still feel it when I go to lift him. There are certain things where I still feel things. Like this morning, I went to make some toast before stream for breakfast. I actually had breakfast this morning. Shock horror. And we keep our bread in the freezer because Mum and I don't go through bread particularly quickly. Like, we're not huge bread people. So we keep our bread in the freezer and then we just take out a slice and toast it when we want it. And so I went to take a piece of bread out of the freezer this morning, and our freezer also needs de-icing, and I could not for the life of me get the door open, and I was like, I could sit here and I could yank it open, but I know that would use my core muscles. So instead I was like, Mommy, can you come open the freezer for me? It's like, oops, help. So yeah. Did Shadow give you a wet nose awakening this morning? He did not. He did go and wake Mum up at 3:30 instead. He was on my bed, and then yeah, at 3:30 in the morning, decided he wanted out, so he went and woke Mum up instead of waking me up this time. But yeah, he came and annoyed me at about 9 o'clock last night, and gave me the like annoying me because I want to go to bed and I want to cuddle because I'm cold, because the heater wasn't on last night. So because I didn't go and like hop into bed so he could cuddle beside me with the warmth, he went in onto my bed anyway. But I hadn't made my bed. And so he was like sleeping, and it was like really cute, but where he was sleeping was exactly where I needed to pull the blankets up to get into bed and then pull the blankets over me. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, cat. So I had to pick him up and move him when I did eventually go to bed. So he wasn't impressed about that. And then I fell asleep and woke up to him asleep on my chest. I was like, ugh. So then I had to move him again. So he was like more evils because I moved him. And then at 3:30, I guess he decided he'd had enough and jumped off and woke Mum up. So yeah, no cold nose boots, which is good because the feeling. Okay, so we just about finished off Leon last time. The only thing we had left to do was the sign and the scroll. And then we've still got all these bits around here. I have 1,000,001 pencils on my desk because I haven't put any of them away. But I believe we were talking last time about doing royal blue for this little sign, and then gold, and then I think we were going to do the scrolls like a light paper tone, so that it's like blue and gold. That's my memories anyway, so. And if that's not correct, well, that's the plan now, because it sounds like a good combo to me. I know why it's feeling dark in here. Blue light and a bit more brightness, please. There we go. But why is it so dark? Because you haven't turned on all the lights, Amy. Right. Extender. We finally had some respite from the heat and some rain. Yay. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. That was getting to you a lot. And it's not fun. It is still rainy and miserable here today. It's very cloud covery. It's also humid. So even though it's like very cold and miserable and grey because it's humid, it's not like icy cold, but it's still cold. Like, I've still got 2 blankets on my lap and I'm wearing a blanket hoodie, keeping in mind I am very susceptible to feeling the cold. But it is meant to bucket down again later on today. So it's a bit of a... Uh-oh. Oh yeah, the forest fires. I could have. That would be a problem. My nose has immediately started being itchy and runny the moment we hit live. Always the way. Always the way. Yeah. We're quite far zoomed out, aren't we? This is why I normally do all my cameras free stream, but I did not. And if anyone's wondering about this, it's because when we colour on this page, these black here, and it picks up on the black and transfers it to the page behind it. So just to stop that. We discovered that while colouring Leon, aka Shadow. Oh, you decided to go with the blue banner? Yeah, I think it's going to tie in really well. It'll bring in our little blue frog, but also with the gold, I think it'll look quite nice. And then we will do like a slightly creamy, papery type colour. So I'm going to go a little bit over this paw print because it doesn't matter too much, because we'll go over that with gold gel pen. So if I go over the paw print, it's not the end of the world. So right now I'm using 157, which I believe is the not Indifferine. I want to say Dark Indigo, I believe is the name. Oh my god, I need to blow my nose. Ugh. Otherwise, sorry, I'm going to be sniffling all stream. 2 seconds. Oh, okay, I can breathe again now. That came out of nowhere. I still don't know Prismas by number, only name one day. I know most of my polys by name, but I can't like match name to number, and it's a problem because a lot of my polys are this size, so I've only got a number left on them. I do have like a color chart that I desperately need to redo somewhere around here. I also just noticed the music's really loud today, so let me know if I need to turn the music down a bit, because I just noticed it. Yeah, so I like some of them I can remember off by heart because I just use them a lot, but some of them it's like but like 177 Van Dyke brown, 199 black, 230 for the cool greys, 270 for the warm greys. Like, some of them I can do, but there's a lot of them I'm still like, yeah, this number. The real problem is when they get below even having a number, and then you're like, which one's this again? See, now we're using Indifferine blue, which is 247. Pretty sure it's Dark Indigo. For 157. Oh, excuse me. Don't you start yawning, Amy. Honestly, I have no right to be yawning in the morning. The amount of caffeine that I have to keep going. Like. Okay, so I've shown this before. This is my mug for coffee. It holds 3 cups. And yes, I have 3 cups of coffee in the morning. And sometimes I'll make that twice and have 6 cups of coffee. And then I usually have an energy drink too. And that's my morning coffee. That's what it takes me to get going in the morning. I am not very good without caffeine. It is very much a a thing. And I used a regular coffee cup for ages, and I would just make multiples upon multiples of cups of coffee. And then I was out shopping one day, and I found what is called a soup mug, and it had 2 cups, and I was like, perfect, that will save me half the effort. So I got that, and for years that was my coffee cup, and I had 2-cup coffees. And then when I was out secondhand shopping with my mum recently, and I found this one, I was like, Mum, it's a 3-cup cup. And she's like, oh God, you need that. And I was like, I need this. You need that mug. It's so good. The best part was it was only $2 at the secondhand shop as well. So, which is about $1.30 US. For context, it was great. It was a very cheap mug. Very cheap price to myself. It's like, There's also some cute kitty ones as well. But they were chipped on the bottom, so we didn't grab those ones, or else we would have grabbed cute kitty mugs as well. I only know the names too, and then a few little ones where I can only see the numbers. Yeah. Yana, welcome in. I'm a coffee person in the morning for sure. Yeah. Big mug girly too. Yeah, there's something about having an oversized mug of a hot drink or a drink in general. Like, you know, I also, you know, big water, big coffee mugs. I like giant cups. I like too much liquid. Like, the greatest thing was when I found out about tumblers. It is not a Stanley, by the way. I'm not paying for a brand name, and honestly, they're kind of boring and plain coloured. I like my knockoff one that is multicoloured. But yeah, when I discovered about them, when they became all the trend, and then I found that knockoff one, it's like, oh, that's pretty, and it holds nearly a litre, and it keeps it cold. Done. My girls know until Mum's had her coffee, don't try to talk to her. Yeah, that's my mum in the morning. Sometimes when we have hospital appointments and she's not allowed to eat or drink before it, and it's like, I feel real bad because I have to have a cup of coffee to function because I'm going to drive her, but she's not allowed anything, and it's like, yeah, like, mum and no coffee in the morning is like, no. I can still be happy without coffee. I'm just very, very eepy. I yawn more than I normally yawn, and I yawn a lot, so... Why am I a tiny mug person? The smaller the better. Probably because I don't drink much tea, coffee, and I'm tiny myself. That's valid. Like, if you're not someone who drinks a lot of tea, coffee, yeah. Like, the tiny little ones, the tiny little shot ones can be quite cute too. Because I order black coffee, when I go to a cafe, I'll often order just a long black. And a long black is a shot of coffee with some extra hot water. But how much hot water depends on the cafe, and some of them only do another shot's worth of hot water to water it down, so it's a very strong coffee, and it comes in a tiny mug, and I feel so awkward holding it, because the other thing as well was with my arthritic hands, like, trying to hold a tiny little cup is really difficult for me. Like, holding a big cup like this is really a lot easier because it's less gathering of my fingers, so having a bigger grip like this is a lot easier on me. It's also very important how the handle feels, because, you know, you can't hold it like this when it's boiling hot, and on arthritic days you need to be able to hold the mug. So eight days. Oh, hopefully it goes well. Rendale. I haven't heard of it, but admittedly I don't know a lot about China. I know Mum has a pretty China cabinet, and I know these are really pretty set in there, and oh yeah, it would make sense. It's at Jador. Jador is very expensive. It looks like that sort of stuff in there. Oh, they're pretty though. I can see why. They're pretty. They are so pretty. Yeah, there's a couple of places locally where I suspect they could stock them. like the sort of thing I can see being stocked in a couple of places, but I don't shop there because of the price. I'm a go to the op shop and spend 50 cents on a mug kind of girly. Not a go to a proper store and spend $20 on a mug, because yes, mugs cost about $20 in stores here. And even more. I have seen one mug for $44.99. It's like, who spends $45 on one single coffee mug? I mean, it was a very pretty rainbow crystal-y glass type coffee mug. It was gorgeous. I'm not spending $50 on a coffee mug. I can't do caffeine. I'm anxious and awake on my own. Yeah, I probably should cut down the caffeine. I really do need to. I do try to. I need to cut down the energy drinks again. They're real easy for me to creep back up on. That's really one of my downfalls, is that I will creep up on an energy drink and I need to creep back down on them. But when I don't have energy drinks, I tend to have a lot more coffee as well. But it's like, well, at least you're just getting hot water and coffee. But yeah, and I have decaf, and I do sometimes do like half mixes, so I'll do like coffee and then decaf coffee, or you know, so I'm not always getting a caffeinated drink. But yeah, I love my caffeinated drinks. And the thing is, I can drink an energy drink and then immediately go and crash asleep. And that's chronic fatigue for you. Brittany, hello. I do have giant water bottles, no Stanley, so yeah, there's something about giant water bottles. It's great. I adore the Wendell range. I can't blame you. It is gorgeous. But yeah. I definitely like... I'm at least still limiting myself to one of these a day. So in New Zealand, I know like this is your standard, like your monster size can and stuff like that, 500 mils. But in New Zealand, because of our food regulations, they have to put on the cans that there's a limit of 1 can per day because of the amount of caffeine that's in them. I know many people that don't listen to that, but it is recommended. Well, at least I tried. I'm gonna have a cookie. Go have a cookie. Go have a cookie and enjoy. Sorry, I have to blow my nose again. It's decided to run today. 2 seconds. Oh, that's better. Oh. So you know how the other day I was talking about how my nose was feeling itchy and I felt like cat fur was up it? Yeah, I think cat fur's coming out. Feels very itchy. Yeah. You have to, in the UK, you have to be 16 to buy energy drinks. They do ID checks, like with alcohol. Is that not normal? Because that's the norm here. You have to be 16 and they do ID checks. They had to warn parents here who are only 11 and 12 year olds who drink energy drinks all day to stop allowing it. Damn. Yeah, no, it's the same thing here. You go to the supermarket, you go to the checkout, you put them through, and every time I have to press yes, I'm over 16, and then get it signed off. And then you go to buy alcohol, and it's like, yes, I'm over 18. And then it has to be signed off. If you do self-checkout, if it's a counter operator, they do the yes, this person is, and then sign it off, obviously. And some kids were ending up in hospital from it, yeah. I can breathe again. They're not like, I would love to not need them to function, but I also, like, you know, words, function. When I used to do markets, I called them my happy go-go juice, and then when I help mum out with markets, one of my payments is she buys me an energy drink, because, like, it puts me into the bubbly, talkative Amy state that you're getting right now. So when you're at a market, it's good for, like, selling and stuff like that, and I'm there to sell my mum's products, so it's like part of my payment is you buy me the energy drink that I'm going to inevitably need in order to sell better for you. So yeah, so that's my payment for doing it, which I mean isn't a lot of payment, but I'm also helping my mum out, so you know, yeah. I did IG check on self-service till the other day for cold brew coffee concentrate. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah. It's quite funny. I, as a minor, was often mistaken for being a doll. There's a story I tell of when I was 12 years old, walking down the street with my 5-year-old brother and my dad. And we got stopped by this couple asking for directions. Then they turned to my 5-year-old brother and said, "Are you having a nice day out with mummy and daddy?" I'm 12 with my dad and my 5-year-old brother, and I will never forget my brother's face as he turned and looked at me horrified and goes, "You're not my mummy!" And they felt so bad, and they were like, "What?" Because obviously they thought, oh, stepmom or something like that, and I looked at them and go, "Yeah, I'm 12 and this is my dad." They were horrified. Yeah, there was quite a few times I was mistaken for my dad's wife, which is very disturbing when you're 11 and 12. And so yeah, when I was younger, I was often mistaken for being older, and that happened a lot in my teens. Most people were very shocked I was in my teens. I just gave off early 20 vibes. I was always told I was older for my age. I was very mature, and stuff like that. But then when I got into my 30s, there's this time when I was 30 and I went to go and buy a bottle of vodka for drinks. And then it was like I hit 30 and I started getting ID'd. And I never had ID because up until that point I'd never been ID'd buying a drink. So I just didn't have ID. This was before I drove. So actually it would have been 28, sorry. 28 because it was 28 when I got my license. But yeah, I didn't have ID. And then suddenly I started getting ID'd for alcohol. And I'm like, but I'm 28. I didn't get ID'd when I was 12. Yeah, so I don't know. It's weird. My daughter turns 18 in 2 days. I'm starting to feel old. Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, there's a mistake. Oh, it is funny, but I think part of it is that, like, we are kind of screwy on age. Part of that is, like, you know, like movies and television, they get 35-year-olds to play 18-year-olds, but then they get 30-year-olds to play 50-year-olds. So I think we're a little screwy on age perception from that. And then with all the, like, you know, anti-aging stuff, and heaven forbid you have a wrinkle and stuff like that. So I think there's a little bit of, like, age screwiness from all that, but also it's hard to tell people's age. That's why you don't guess people's age, and why you also don't ask people's age. You want to feel old, hang around with nibblings. The nibbling that's coming around today, a little while ago, it was getting near to their birthday. And so because of that, you know, they were turning a year older. So they're really fascinated with birthdays and ages. So they were asking about birthdays and ages and be like, how long to your birthday? And then like, you know, how old are you? So the nibbling came to me and was like, Auntie Amy, how old are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm a bit older than you. And the nibbling was like, are you 10? And I was like, oh, I'm a bit older than that. Are you 11? Bit older than that. How old? I'm 37. And the nibbling was like, that's really, 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 really old. I was like, yep, thanks, good. Thanks, good. And then they asked if I was retired like their grandma. Oh. Kids giving us reality checks. Yep. Nothing quite like it. Nothing quite like it. It is cute though. They are very fun, and you always get in trouble because, like, you know, nibblings will get picked up and they'll run straight to your parents and be like, guess what? I got candy. And it's like, well, we're in trouble now. No hiding, no secrets. They don't know. And that's beautiful. But yeah, it's a good time. The nibbling that's coming around today is also the nibbling that quite likes colouring. So they want to have a room just like my room because I have all the colouring stuff and all the art stuff. And I have all the candy in my room too, so they know that they can run down here and they can find candy in this room. Which reminds me, I need to put the new candy that I brought front and centre so that they go for that one and not the actual candy that is for me. I brought, I need to cut them up too. I don't know if I've had them before, but I always have like lollipops on hand. And so I found like Pop Rocks or knockoff Pop Rocks. So I'm going to cut them up and put them in the front. And see how they feel. Oh, my nose is running again. Why is my nose running so much today? Sorry if I'm sniffing. I'm trying not to sniff, but then every once in a while it's like, oh, my nose is running. We might have to blow my nose a few times today. Also, I just realised now that I've started colouring this one, I'm going to have to colour all of them because I want these little scrolls to be consistent in colour. That's okay. We'll just do all the scrolls. And yes, I'm colouring over the lettering again because we're going to pull out a gold gel pen and do all that in gold. So it does not matter. So we're just going to colour over it because lazy. Will you be doing the next page in here after this one, or maybe on something else? I'm not sure yet. I am tempted to carry on in here. Like, I'm really, really enjoying it and I kind of want to do a full page. But also I might get to the point and be like, nah, I'm done. I don't know. I would just like to get this finished today, though. That's the main thing. So, I don't know. We'll see how I feel on Friday. I am kind of tempted to do another one because I'm really, really enjoying it. But, I mean, I always love colouring kitties, so it's not hard to convince me to colour kitties. Like, I think it's Tomimiko, the gorgeous Japanese series. You know, we've got like antique, Friendly Little Squirrels in the Residence of Antique Town, and the Magical Cats General Store, and those sort of books, the Polar Bear Adventure book and stuff like that. Now, there is a cat one, which is Magical Cats General Store. But the cat is a little cartoony. If you look at, like, Mona's work with the Friendly Little Squirrels and Residents of Antique Town. The animals are a little bit more realistic, to a sense. If Mona did a cat book like that, oh my god, I would be all over that book. Be all over it, I tell you. So much. But yeah, I have realized over time with my coloring that the things that I like to color are cute animals, but I also, animals doing people things is a big thing for me. Animal doing people things. And I particularly like realistic animals doing cutesy things. So, yeah. Ooh, itchy. You got cat books, you see? Baby Shadow passed on the wet nose. Yeah. Cat books, yeah. It's possibly that. It's possibly a little bit of allergies, but I do, because Shadow, like, I've been waking up with Shadow on my chest. I do think there is possibly some cat furs up there. So I just think it's a little bit of, like, my nose is trying to get stuff out. I think that's just what's going on, because again, I've been waking up with Shadow asleep on my chest and around here, my face, like, right there in his fur, and that's not normal for me. So yeah, I don't feel sick or under the weather. I just feel like I've been feeling it for a few days. Like, my nose has felt itchy, but not allergy itchy. Yeah. Hey, here we have a cat cafe, and you can adopt any of the cats. Oh, this little secondhand store that we go to there is run by volunteers, and they have cats that you can adopt in the store as well. And it raises money for cat rescue. And we just like going in there and playing with the kitties. It's so cute. But yeah, we have a cat. We have a cat called Shadow, and then unfortunately, when Shadow goes, there will be no more cats because Mum's allergies. She's not meant to have cats, and she was told that she actually needs to get rid of Shadow, and she's like, no. But once Shadow goes, she won't replace him. You replace cats, but you know, she won't get another cat. Lisbeth, hello. Working in a page in Oceans to Stars. Oh, that's another book I desperately need to work in. I was so lovingly sent that book too, because I had so many issues getting it here to New Zealand, and then I haven't even worked on it. But again, I have not been colouring outside of live streams at the moment. I have just been playing video games. I've been playing Sims. So much Sims. Although I kind of, like, last night I did watch a bunch of Sim videos, but I didn't actually play anything. I just kind of zoned out last night. So maybe my little deep dive is coming to an end. I don't know. We'll see tonight. We all have so many books that we haven't touched, yeah. And the thing is, again, I say this all the time, colouring is that beautiful hobby where you can just leave things on the shelf and come back to it. Like, it doesn't matter if you don't get to everything and you don't colour everything. And there's a lot of things I want to colour. I don't have time to colour everything. I will get there eventually. I was getting very close to having every single book in my collection worked. I got up to almost 97% of my collection worked. And then I got this massive run of Happy Mail and gifts, and it was beautiful. But then, yeah, my having touched the shelf number went, like, dropped straight down because of how many I got. But it's quite alright because I got so many beautiful gifts. And it will get back there eventually. But it's also not the goal this year. I mean, it was the goal for a couple of years there, but it's not the goal this year. We're just working on whatever we want to work on this year. I've made a mission to work on my untouched books this year. I've managed about 60 so far. Feels awesome. Well done. I'm going to have to say goodnight. See you in the stream soon. All good, Jess. Thank you so much for being here. Have a good sleep. And yes, we will catch you again soon. I have your new video in my list of things to catch up and watch today. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, that's interesting, Yana. I don't actually watch a lot of TV, but I would watch something about a cat cafe. Honestly, most of the content, most of the things that I watch are YouTube and Twitch. Like Twitch live streams and YouTube content. And I very rarely sit down to watch like a scripted television show anymore. And I don't know at what point that happened, but I don't mind it. It's like, I find watching YouTube content fascinating, watching people's, there's so much to watch, like, of course right now I've been deep diving a lot of Sims videos and watching people make these amazing builds in the Sims, and then there's always a ton of colouring content to watch. And then related creativity, like for a while there I was watching a ton of like clay videos. I actually have clay to play with, and we were talking last time too about like the building kits, the little miniatures building kits, and how deep diving those videos. And then I brought a little building kit that I've still got to build. Yeah. Okie dokie. Can breathe again. Right, so we've done Lily's, and then we've got little Marie as well. We've still got to colour Marie, so I've still got to decide Marie's colours. Then we've got Latte and Mocha. And in theory I could pull out the gold now and also do the gold at the same time, but I'll leave that till last because we want it to like settle in. And it's easy with metallic gel pen to sort of bump it and spread it everywhere. Those are the words I'm looking for. That took way too long for my brain. So yeah, I drove for the first time in a couple of weeks yesterday, so that was good. That was another good sign that things are healing well. We are 2 weeks and a bit post-op, because yeah, it was just yesterday 2 weeks ago that I had surgery. So this time last week I was getting discharged from the hospital. And luckily my tooth has started settling down again as well, which is always the way. I am still on the waiting list for the dental unit at the hospital. They did send me another text the other day to go, hey, just letting you know you're still on the list. We haven't forgotten about you. You're just still on the list. So hopefully that comes up soon. We can start the process because I've got to get some wisdom teeth extracted. And I ain't good at getting my teeth looked at, so knock me out, please. Latte and Mocha are so cute. I do love how they came together. I also really love Baron. Like, he's a lot of work and I don't want to do a lot of him. Like, he's a lot, but I do like how he came together. But yeah, I don't want to have to do a lot of Baron. We do need to get into Latte and Mocha and do their bandanas too. But again, we'll come back to that. Mega team. We have technically finished Leon. We've just got to put the gold in there now. So Leon is done. So we'll move on to Lily and Marie once we've done this. Man, that rain is already coming down. It wasn't even meant to come down until later on tonight. Yeah, I am tempted to carry on with this book. I'm tempted just to go straight to the next page. It is so pretty. This whole book is. Maybe Marie is grey so she can hide in Lily's fur since she is a secret. That's a very cute idea. That is so cute. Do you use Epidemic for your music, Amy? No. This entire playlist is on Spotify. It is Streamlabs. Not Streamlabs, that's my bot. Stream Beats by Harris Heller. Yeah, Stream Beats. It might be on other platforms, but honestly, I just use Spotify. And yeah, it is DMCA free music. And there's like, I think I worked out there's at least 72 hours worth of music. Like, I've never got into the end of the playlist. There is that many albums. And I skip certain albums. Because I skip the Christmas albums, unless it's December. And then sometimes the albums, because it's a mix of different genres, some of the albums give me itchy brain on certain days. So we do skip certain albums on certain days as well. But yeah, whoops, I haven't done this colour. But yeah, I've never made it to the end of the playlist. And that's with me playing it over multiple streams and just being like, I wonder how far I can get with it. And then I just never make it to the end of the playlist. But yeah, it's just a go-to because I know it doesn't trigger copyright unless somebody uses it as a base and then tries to claim the remix. Which is easy to argue and go, no. And yeah, it's just good chill background music. Like, I don't have to think about it. And I don't have to curate the playlist. And like, yes, these are a couple of albums that we do skip. And I should technically take and create a custom playlist that skips the Christmas one and maybe a couple of the Brain Itchy albums. But, meh, can't be bothered. It's just there, I just press play. Yeah. Yeah, there's some people who prefer streams without music, and there's some people who prefer the streams to have music. I'm someone who prefers to have music, but music is very subjective, so I do understand why there are people out there who are like, oh, I don't want you to have music in your stream. And like, if I'm listening to somebody stream and they don't have music, I will usually pull up my own music in the background. Which is another thing that can happen as well. But yeah, I don't mind hanging out in streams with people's music. It can be difficult if they like music that is, as I say, itchy brain music. Most colouring related streams, if they play music, I find tend to be very chill, calming, peaceful music. But yeah, it can be difficult because again, music is very subjective. But I also think I like to have the music playing, and the way my stream setup occurs is the music is playing for you guys, but it's also playing for me as well, and I like having the music there. So yeah, end of the day, you got to find that. You got to find what works for you. Like, you have to put out the content you like because it's what you genuinely like, and then you're more genuine in the content, which I like. People inherently know when you're not being genuine, so putting out and producing what you like is going to immediately make your content better because you're being genuine. And again, people just know when you're not being genuine, so you know, put out what you like, but then at the same time, like, there's a certain part of like, yeah, listen to what people are saying, but if you are putting out what you like, you're also going to attract a certain a group of people which is also going to like it. Like, if people don't like your stream, they're not going to come to stream, and that's okay. It's okay. There's so much content out there. Like, again, hang out where you like, do what you like, you know. There are sometimes I will put on videos and it might be like a coloring video or something, and I genuinely am not interested in the chatter, so I'll just mute it and put on my own music, or put on another video that I do want to listen to, but I want to see what they're doing, or I just want to see the transformation. I'll just have it up as background music. And that's another thing too, like, if people really don't like the talking in the chatter, they can just mute the video and put on your own music. Like, it's fine. Yeah. EG. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, like, as long as... Also, hi, Beady. Oh, sorry. At the end of the day, if you are doing what you... makes you happy in stream, makes you comfy, you know, it'll be good. Okay. I have no idea where that went. That's fun. Cool. So I'm wearing fake nails. I went to scratch the back of my neck. The fake nails are not on particularly great, so it popped off. And it's somewhere in the back of my sweatshirt, and I can't find it. So, cool. Joys of fake nails. It's okay. There's not enough nail for them to properly grip on to stay on very well. And that's okay. I'll just have to, like, shake things out. It'll turn up. It's in there somewhere. As long as it doesn't start itching me, we're good. We start itching, we're taking a break, and I'm going and shaking up my sweatshirt. Alright. Look, these things happen. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to sit here and go, I'm itchy because there's a fake nail stuck somewhere in my clothes. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit here and be like this, and everyone will be like, why are you wiggling so much? You need to go to the bathroom? No, I lost a fake nail in my clothes somewhere. Right, so we want some greys. Love the owl. Thank you. I am very pleased with how Baron turned out. He's pretty cool. Right, let's look up a grey mouse. I used to have mice. I used to have 6 mice. They were all females. And they were all white and brown and white. Yeah, that sort of colouring is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking sort of like this one here, which is just a little house mouse. I think that's quite cute. Just a little grey mouse. I try not to worry about how many people in streams. It's still going to be me. That's honestly the best thing. I have all the numbers hidden. I don't know how many people are in my stream at any time. And I don't worry about it because, like, if they're here, they're here. If they're not, they're not. And life happens. And, like, if you got the opportunity to go live life, go live life. Like, you know. I'm not going to be worried about it. I'm just going to keep streaming because I enjoy I enjoy streaming. It's the content that I enjoy making the most, which is why it's the most content that I make. But then I know words. Like, appreciate when people are here and it's cool, but also I'm not gonna be like, because there's no perfect time for stream. You're never gonna be the perfect time for everybody. So I just focus on having the most fun I can at the time. I enjoy it. I also do understand that streams aren't always everyone's favorite content. Like, we also live in a very curated, edited content world. Like a lot of short form content, you know, YouTube videos that are very edited and not just like, you know, like we've been here streaming for over an hour and that would probably be like 5 minutes of YouTube content. Like, yeah. I prefer the chatting and the interaction and the socialization, and I like seeing the real time, but again, that's me, and I do understand that that's not everyone's cup of tea, and that's also okay. You know, some people don't have 8 or 9 hours to sit there and watch a VOD of stream. Yeah, the best time to stream is the time that works the best for you. Ooh, Artax. You sent me a picture bringing up Instagram. Am I okay to share it on stream? Artax. Oh, that's pretty. Is this is the Mermaid's book, isn't it? Yes, you said it was the Mermaid's book. This is what Lisbeth has been working on. Let's bring that down a bit and then we can go boom and make this a bit bigger so we can look at the prettiness of it. I love the gradients that you've gotten in the scales, like that blue to gold. It is so pretty. And a little scorpion on her hand. It's so cool. It's looking so fabulous. Oh, now I want to go and colour in the Mermaid's book. I also love the fact that you're doing the background as silhouette. Are we doing like a big sunset behind here? So like the sun is coming from behind and that's why we've got the silhouette. That's so cool. Good job. Love it. Alright. Yes, there is a little bit of brown in the grey mouse, so we will just put a little touch of brown in Marie, just a little touch, just so it's a bit more of like a grey brown as opposed to grey like Marie. We'll give a little point of difference while still being similar. Content is a personal thing and not everything aligns with everyone. Exactly, Yana. You cannot make something for everyone. So just focus on making the best that you can, what makes you happy, the content that you like. Because again, it is what you like. So it's more genuine, but also you'll enjoy making it more if you are making what you enjoy. And also at the same time, remember, content making is a side hobby. Like, unless it's your full-time job, don't worry about it. If you don't want to make anything, don't make anything. You don't have to make content. Live streaming and YouTube videos and Instagram posting and all that sort of stuff, this is a side hobby of my hobby. So if I don't put up any videos, I don't put up any videos. And that's okay. Oceans to Stars it is. Have you seen the new book? The new book, oh, it's so... I know the wonderful Smalt backed a Kickstarter, I believe, to get the new one. I was like, oh, it looks so good. Alright, so we've still got a bit of grey in the ears, even if there is a bit of pinkiness in the ears, so... I think we'll just do a run over entirely with this grey. And just make you quite solid grey. And then we're going to go back in with our Payne's grey, and we might pull out a little bit of black just to darken a couple of areas. It's pretty tiny, and I'm sorry, I know my fingers are kind of blocking it a bit as well, but I'm also working with tiny pencils and not enough extenders. Marie is tiny, but also she's adorable. Part of me was tempted to do Marie white, like in Aristocrats, because Marie also wears a bow, and I like the irony of it being a mouse, but I also like the idea of Marie being grey and hidden in Lily. I think that's really cute. Okay, I need to write these colours down for Marie. Me free, Zoe. Me free. It's so cool. There's so much good content on at the moment. This is why I don't need to watch television, because there's just so much out there to watch. It's great. Just go to YouTube and it's like, oh look, 30 new videos in my subscriptions. Perfect. 274 280, and then of course cinnamon 189, and that is Marie, not Marie, Marie. Oh, I need to do it Instagram. Ooh. Open to New Zealand residents. Oh, sorry. Gotta, sorry, just gotta enter something. Alright, chances minimal, but we'll try. Oh, hoo mark a giveaway for New Zealand residents. Very rare to find anything. So, just got tagged in that by a fellow Kiwi. It was like, Amy. Okay. And then we've got the bow for Marie, which we're going to do the same as Lily's one, which we still have on the desk because I haven't put away any of the pencils. $2.46. I know $2.47 is indifferent blue. So what's $2.46? Ah, right. Prussian? Yeah, Prussian blue. Ah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And then it was that one, and then we used a cool grey 6, Technically Payne's grey, but you'll do. Close enough. I'm actually going to put that right over. Just really cool this down. Again, this is in the shadow of Lily. So we want you quite cool. Because we want you kind of hidden and subtle. And then just to really emphasize that, we'll just go around Lily and just add a little bit of shading. Just to make Marie pop out ever so slightly. But still be in there. Just a little bit of contrast. Okay. That's officially the last one that we needed to track. Because everything else doesn't matter. Alright, so I believe these were Forget-Me-Nots. Thank you, Ashley, for that. And then we had pansies as well. Oh yeah, they do look like Forget-Me-Nots. They're pretty, and they bring in a bit of blue, like bluey purple. They're pretty. I can see that colouring actually. It's going to work quite nicely. So, and then we can just focus on the pansies. Again, doesn't have to be accurate. They don't have to be the exact colourway, but it does kind of work with the colours we've chosen here, especially with Marie's ribbon. So let's do this beautiful blue. Oh, baby, ready for a nap. My God, I crushed so hard after stream yesterday, and then again yesterday, not yesterday, Sunday. When I went down for a nap on Sunday, whenever I ended stream, I think it was like 1:30, 2 o'clock, and I could feel like a fatigue wave hitting, and I went to sleep so quickly. I didn't even wake up till 6, and I had to force myself to get up because I was like, if I don't get up now, I'm going to drift back off to sleep, and then I'm going to wake up at midnight and have regrets. Yeah, I was like so out. Something about a fatigue wave crash just hits you and you're out. It's some of the best sleep. Alright, I think we need to pull up a couple more blues. Because, you know, every blue that I have on the desk so far isn't enough. Okay, I only have pretty much the entire case of Polychromos out at this stage. I'm not looking forward to clean up. Which is why I haven't done it at all these last few days. And why there are pencils everywhere. Which is why we just move on to the next page. No cleanup needed. True, but I'd still probably want to clean up just so I have that fresh start and then re-pull out the pencils for the next page. Like, yoink. Yoink. Like, yes, we've got Leon, so we could keep the Leon colours out. We could technically keep the strawberry colours out. We have potentially Forget-Me-Not or strawberry flowers there. Like, yeah, there's certain colours we could keep out. Look, there's our tulips that we could do from there. And we could do some sort of bokeh background. Like, yes, I could leave all the colours out, but it'll be easier to put them all away and then re-pull out again for the page. But yeah, it is a very cute page, and I am very tempted to go onto it because I can see doing like a bokeh soft style background with lots of different colours in it, and then having all these flowers at the front with all the different colours, and then Shadow / Leon in here in black. It'll just pop so prettily. But we'll see. We'll see if I'm over the pencil only, because I'd want to do it in pencil only again too. And it's not a... Oh, zoomed in way too far there. Oh, no, we are all the way down. Okay. But yeah, I am very tempted to just move on to the next page. Funny feeding time, all good. How cute. Do we have communication and time for nibbling? I have no idea when nibbling's tuning out, by the way, so... Okay. Nothing yet. It could be like the next 5 minutes. It could be in the next 5 hours. We don't know. Oh, excuse me. I'm so sleepy. And I have no reason to be. I did sleep well last night, and I've had a ton of caffeine, so I should be awake. I am not. Cheesy kibbles in the morning and veggies at night. Protein in the morning and veggies at night. Yum. I just had peanut butter toast for breakfast. I kind of wanted eggs, but I couldn't be bothered cooking eggs today. But I knew I wanted savoury breakfast, so I was like, cool, we'll just do toast. We'll just do some peanut butter toast and call it a day. Wasn't quite what I wanted, but did the job, you know? Sometimes it's just it. Can't believe she'll be 2 in December. Where does the time go? Yeah, that was pretty much how we feel about Shadow. When Mum and I did the math to realise that he's 15, or he'll be 15 in December. So he could be 15 now. He's close to 15 anyway, because he was adopted in December, rescued, and he was over 2 when he was rescued. So yeah, and that was 2012. So yeah, he'll be 15 in December. It's about stretch time. It probably is. Thank you, Elizabeth. And it's a good place to just take a little stretch break, because we just finished off the little flower. So I did just use a little bit of white paint pen to do the centre, because let me just, my little reference here, you can see off to the side there, they have like little white spiky bits, so it's kind of replicating that by just doing a couple of little dots around. Sorry, let me just bring this back to frame. Sorry about all the movement, but yeah, all the little white pokey bits. So I just put a couple of white dots in there. Gives the illusion Yep. They decide they no longer want the food in their bowl and they're like, give me something else. It's like, but you've got food in your bowl. It's been Shadow lately as well. Little stretchies. Alright, coffee's practically done. There's one mouthful left, but it's cold, so I'll leave that. A little bit of water. Okay. We have stretched. I need to change that water. It's not tasting particularly fresh now. I think it is from yesterday, so it probably does need replacing. Okay. So we've done that. So now we need a little bit of green. I already have plenty of greens on the desk, so it won't be a problem. Just do some quick green. Nothing too fancy. Find a nice dark green. It's not much green, so it's pretty easy. Okie dokie. Pansies. What colour pansies are we gonna do? Which in turn will also give us our background colour. Because we could keep... Do we want to keep the colours the same for the background, or do we want to do different colours for each of them? Yeah, I was leaning towards purple and yellow, and then I could either bring in the same yellow that I've done over here for the background, or we could do pink for the background, because it would be quite nice. It's just, do I want to do the same colours for the background for each of them? See, like Baron here has like a moon, so yellow's a bit weird to do for Baron's background. So if I do different colours, then I can do pink, which would also justify me doing a really dark blue background here for Baron. And of course something entirely different for Latte and Mocha. We can pink background? Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards pink background. Everyone gets their own background? Yeah. Kind of what I'm leaning towards, because we can do purple and yellow in here, which will bring in the yellow and introduce some purple, and then I can do a little bit of dark purple down here, which shades up to the pink and bring around there. Okay, back relaxing and bread. Had my bread relaxing and bread. Oh god. Back relaxing in bed and had stretchy time and hydrated. Very glad to hear it, Zoe. Oh god. Relaxing in bread. Honestly, bread would be like a delight to sleep on, depending on the loaf. Depending on the loaf. If you get like a crusty sourdough with that good crispy crust, no. But like just your standard supermarket loaf, springy loaf, that would be really comfy to sleep on. Had some bread earlier, does that count? Absolutely. Absolutely. We enjoy our bread here. Like a brioche loaf. Yeah, I need to pull out the bread maker. We stopped making bread so much in the summer because we don't, like, we eat even less bread in summer, but then I haven't been eating a lot of bread this winter. I stopped making the sourdough loaf. So my sourdough starters have all gone because I wasn't even maintaining them. But also the amount of effort to make the sourdough loaf was quite a lot. Even though it was done in the bread maker, it was like a lot of work to make it the night before, leave it to rise overnight, and then cook it in the morning. Whereas with the yeasted loaves, at least I could dump everything and just let it go. Crispy bacon sandwich, yum. I make a brioche BLT. It's a bougie BLT with brie cheese. That sounds amazing. I was thinking the other day, because I make a jalapeno cheese loaf that I haven't made in a while. I was like, kind of feel like making that. Like, yeah, the jalapeno cheese loaf. Yummy. But that would be a loaf just for me, so I would have to eat the entire loaf of bread, which can be done, but also it's a lot of gluten. But it is yummy. It is just as it sounds. It's a loaf with jalapeno and cheese in it. It's mostly just been energy levels. I haven't had the energy levels to make bread. But I should. It's been a while. And I do enjoy it. So... I'm kind of fussy with mushrooms, but I would like to try truffles. It's something I haven't tried before. I'm not a fan of cooked mushrooms, but I like the idea of like shavings of truffles flavouring things. I can get behind that. But yeah, I'm not a fan of cooked mushrooms. It's like, I'm pretty non-fussed with food, and I do eat a lot of things. But yeah, cooked mushrooms and white creamy sauce like mac and cheese and fettuccine alfredo, those are the two things that I'm really not a big fan of. I don't like creamy pasta sauces and creamy pastas and just creamy sauce. I'm not a fan of cooked mushrooms. I like raw mushrooms though. Raw mushrooms are yum. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to find food. Oh, good, Elizabeth. Go find the food. I can get behind the flavour of mushrooms. Like, I understand the appeal of it. I just don't like the texture of cooked mushrooms. I don't care for shiitake mushrooms. Yeah, shiitake mushrooms, again, I like the flavour of them. I don't like the texture of them. And they're often served in soup. It's the textural thing for me for cooked mushrooms. I'm not a fan of cooked mushrooms texture. But that being said, as we've talked about here before, our rule here is fed is best. We just want you to make sure you are having nutrition so you can survive. So we don't judge food here. So if you love cooked mushrooms, you enjoy those cooked mushrooms. I'm not a huge fan of mushrooms, and that's okay as well. It's like last night for dinner, Mum made like this country chicken casserole sachet slow cooker thing. It's just something she pulled from the cupboard. She's like, I don't want to think. It's like valid. She put it in and she didn't say anything, but all day she was like, I'm not gonna like it. She could tell by the smell of it cooking, and I could smell it cooking, and I was like, oh, this smells particularly creamy and not like something I'd enjoy. We both ate it last night. We're both like, yeah, nah, like we wouldn't buy it again. We wouldn't do this packet again. We ate it because it was there, it was hot, it was cooked, and it was nutrition. But we're both like, yeah, nah, this isn't our vibe. And sometimes that's what food is. It's literally just nutrition. And we're not going to waste it because chicken is expensive and it's food. But we're both sitting there going, yeah, nah, not vibing with this. I would love to be the type of person that could be a forager and live off the land and stuff. There's this old series. I Oh god, I can't remember the chef's name. It's a British series. I used to have, like, I enjoyed the series so much. I watched it so many times. I can't remember his name. I feel like it's Fernley Whiteley or something like that, or like he's some sort of British chef. Hugh Fernley Whittinghall. That's his name. It's like Fernley Whiteley, something like that. So yeah, Hugh Fernley Whittinstall. And he used to have this series where it was like he lived in this old cottage and lived off the land. This was before it was like popular. It was like it's a really old series. But I used to love that series. Like, it's kind of, I've talked about before with my anxiety, I want to be basically a forest witch. I want to go and hide in the forest and not have to do anything except just colour and live off the land. And I want to be a forest witch, but I'm also a mermaid, so maybe more like a forest water siren or something. But yeah, dreams. Absolute dreams. I have no idea how to garden. I have no idea how to forage. I have no idea how to fish. I have no idea how to do this, but I would love to do this. Yeah, I can't even keep houseplants alive, so yeah, love to, no idea how to, no capability to do so. But I watch a lot of stuff like this, and it started many, many years ago, like 2008, 2010, 2012, somewhere in that period, watching this series, and it was what started me of this desire to just go and live off the land in the middle of the forest. Yeah, is chicken expensive in New Zealand? It's our cheapest meat here. It is expensive, but all meats are expensive in New Zealand. I mean, food is expensive in New Zealand. Chicken used to be the cheapest. Chicken and ground beef was like your cheapest of the cheap meats, and even those aren't cheap anymore. When it started getting really, really pricey, I used to use a lot more eggs and tofu for protein because meat was too expensive, and then eggs skyrocketed. So now even eggs aren't a cheap source of protein. Tofu's still reasonably priced. Beans are still really cheap, but yeah, for meat, very, very pricey. We do buy when it's on special. We try to stick with the specials, and then when it's on special, stock up then. So yeah, chicken still tends to be one of the cheaper ones. We usually grab chicken at special price at the cheapest supermarket is usually $10.99 a kilo, which a kilo is £2, and $10.99 New Zealand is about $8 US. If you can convert from there, I know that's kind of like a standard unit. Most people can convert from US. I think British is half. I think British pounds is half New Zealand dollar. Like £1 is two New Zealand dollars, I think. Though it could have changed. You know, currency changes all the time. But yeah, if it's not on special, chicken's usually about $20 a kilo. So yeah, we grab it when it's half price. Mince beef, so just ground beef, is usually about $20 a kilo. Again, we grab it when it's on special. And if you're looking for steak, you're looking at about $26 to $30 a kilo. Pork and lamb is very similar to beef. We don't eat a lot of it. We don't eat pork. Mum doesn't eat pork at all. She's not a pork person. She loves lamb. I'm not a huge lamb person. So we'll grab like little packets of lamb for Mum when it's on sale, and little things of pork for me. And sometimes we'll cook different things, and I'll have a piece of pork and she'll have lamb. But again, we buy it when it's on special. We don't buy full price. Yeah. That is like a bone-in chicken thigh with skin. Yeah, if you want to get breast, you're looking at like $30 a kilo. Sometimes you can get chicken drumsticks on sale for like $6.99. They're really good value when they go on sale. Not a lot of meat, but you know, it's a good value. Again, it depends on the supermarket, depends when you're buying it, depends on the special. So we tend to wait for a special, and then when we see the special, we stock up on that particular meat and we keep it in the freezer. And then we just work around what we have in the freezer because it's way more economical that way. There's a lot of people that do, I say a lot of people, it's not like everybody, but I happen to know a lot of people that also do home kill or like farm share. So they will share together to purchase a cow from a farmer or something, and basically they pay the farmer to raise the cow, feed the cow, and then it's sent to a butcher, and then they split the cow and stock the freezer with it. You do the same with like a sheep and a pig and even chickens and stuff like that. So I know a lot of people that do a home kill and they'll buy like a half cow or a quarter cow or something like that. Stock the freezers that way too. But yeah, I would, if I could, I would have the chickens, I would have the garden. I just have no idea how to. And every time I've tried to grow a houseplant, I've killed it. I have no idea how to start it. I have no idea how to do any of it. And to be perfectly honest, I don't like being outside in the garden because it makes me itchy. So, yeah. That is pricey, yeah. Yeah, and it's expensive. Yeah. It's one of the things that most people say when they come to New Zealand is they're just shocked at how much our prices are, because what you expect to pay overseas, you often pay double to triple here. Import items cost more because they've got to travel further to be imported. But then things that we buy locally and we produce locally and we export are insane. So keeping in mind that $20 New Zealand, which is £8.90, a 500 gram block of butter, that is 1 pound, half a kilo block of butter. This is a standard block of butter that you would get for baking, you would get for cooking with, you might use to spread on toast, your standard bog standard butter. We are a dairy country. Dairy is one of our major exports. We produce a lot of dairy and milk products. We produce a lot of beef that we export. We produce a lot of lamb. But yes, dairy is one of our main exports. I live in a dairy region. My region is known for dairy. It's one of our biggest jobs here is people being dairy farmers. Dairy is massive in my region. I can literally walk down the hill and there's cows down there that make the dairy that go to the factory to be turned into the butter, right? So super, super close to where I am. That 500 gram block of butter is $20. It is cheaper to go and buy butter in other countries that has been produced here than for me to go and buy butter which is produced next door. Like, it is expensive. Yeah, we are an island. We are an island, so you got to keep that in mind. Seafood is also another big thing here. But again, my mum doesn't eat a lot of seafood. I don't eat a lot of seafood in turn. So, yeah. But you can get a lot of good deals on fish and seafood. We eat your beef and lamb all the time. I always pay attention. Yeah, our beef and lamb is very well regarded around the world. Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of people who are saying that, oh, I'll just buy cream and make my own butter. But keep in mind, cream is also matching that prices. Dairy is, like, expensive. And it's one of the things, like, our minimum wage is $23.50. And a 500 gram block of butter is, like, $20. And it's been one of the things that's been pointed out is to buy butter that is locally made and produced here is basically an hour of work, and it's like, this is butter, which is why a lot of people don't buy genuine butter. Or things like Costco, which is only in Auckland, but there is a Costco in New Zealand. There's one Costco, and so there's one guy locally who basically has a business going up to Auckland and buying their $10 block of butters, because remember, it's $20 for a block of butter, so $10 half price. will go up there with his van, buy like the limit on how many blocks of butter he can buy, and then drive the van back to New Plymouth and then sell them on to people, and he'll charge 15 to cover his costs of going up there and bringing back the butter. Still saves you $5. Like, it's yeah, it is really ridiculous. The food price here in New Zealand is very, very pricey, so you got to be prevalent about shopping the specials and working in the seasons and knowing what's in season, knowing what's cheap to make and what's cheap to eat. But it also takes a lot of energy and spoon to think about these things. And then it also takes capability, because, you know, like, you're paying for convenience and ease sometimes with some of these foods. Like, one of the things that we buy with steak, when we buy steak, we buy the steak we don't buy like fancy frying steak. We buy cooking a slow cooker steak, right? We buy casserole steak because A, that's cheaper, but also we prefer the softer cooked stuff. But we will pay a little bit more to get the pre-diced steak. Now that does cost more, but that is a convenience we pay because the act of chopping beef is really tough for both me and Mum on our hands. And we actually struggle to chop beef. And we have brought beef before that is, you know, like, not diced, but we struggle to cut it to size. So we have to pay a little bit more to get that pre-chopped beef because we struggle so much to cut beef. It's one of the things we struggle with. And that's one of those accessibility secret taxes that we kind of pay. But it means by spending that little bit more on the pre-cut beef, we can at least then make our own casserole stews and stuff like that, and it's not buying a fully pre-prepared meal. Yeah. I started locking up coffee here and I locked... Yeah. Yeah, coffee is also, that's another one where I remember when my particular brand of coffee that I used to buy was like $4.99 full price, and now it's $8.99 on special, and I'm like, okay. So when I see it on special, I stock up again too. Again, it's knowing and being aware of what regular prices are, so you can recognize when there are good specials on those shelf staple items, and then you stock up. But you've also got to have the funds to be able to stock up on these items when they're a good price. So like right now we have a little bit of butter in the fridge, but there was a really good deal on butter where it was I think it was like $8.99 or something ridiculous, but there was a limit on it, so we could only grab 2. But we're like, we'll stock up on it anyway. Same with like cat food. Yeah, and see, that's another good point, Double A. Here in New Zealand, we have 2 supermarket chains. We are multiple supermarkets, but they're owned by 2 major corporations. So we have Food Stuff, and then we have the Australian one that owns Countdown/Woolworths, because they just rebranded again. And I think they own Foursquare and a couple other smaller ones. And then we have Food Stuff that owns Pack and Save and New World, and then a couple other smaller ones as well. And then there's like a couple of other competitors that have been getting in because the government basically forced there to not be a duopoly on supermarkets. So now a couple other stores are trying to break into the supermarket game. But it's going to take a hot minute for them to get set up and established. And there's a lot of stuff going on about the supermarkets right now. There is quite a big public investigation and some fines being levied to the supermarkets because they breached Fair Trading Act rules, which are very, very strong here, by misleading things on special, because they'll say, you know, extra low price, and it's just their standard price, but it looks like it's a special. And so I think that was one of the things that they kind of got pinged on for, like, this isn't a special, you can't make it look like a special. That's a breach of the Fair Trading Act. So, and then things about like supermarket specials not ringing up on tills. The supermarkets got hit with massive fines for that recently, like millions and millions of dollars, because it's not, per our trading laws, it's not on the customer to recognise that they don't get special. It's on the supermarket to make sure that they are ringing things through at the prices they advertise. So they got stung with massive fines recently because of that. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's still, like, again, I live in New Zealand. It's still wonderful here. Every country has problems. No country is perfect. And the cost of living in New Zealand is a major issue. And I know that's not a local thing right now. That is a global issue for a lot of us. But it is something about down here is that, you know, we are... Food is expensive, and I am lucky in the sense that I am somebody who enjoys cooking, enjoys finding a bargain, and is willing to put the spoons in to research and try and find good deals. But it takes energy, and I understand that for a lot of people, the amount of effort that we put into groceries to try and get the deals, to try and get those bargains, to try and make our dollar stretch further, a lot of people don't have the time or capability or the know-how to do that. So yeah, we love a good grocery research stream. Yeah, I mean, you know how much I bring up the groceries on stream and look at the supermarkets with y'all. I like doing that. So and one of the reasons why I wanted to try and learn to drive out of town is that there's a small town about 40 minutes away, so this is quite a drive, but that town is where the dairy factory is. That's where the big factory is, Fonterra, the big dairy factory here. And there is actually a cheese offcut shop there where you can get cheese very, very cheaply. Now, it's ugly cheese. I don't care. It'll taste the same. I freaking love cheese. I'm not meant to eat cheese. It's lactose. I don't care. I love cheese. Cheese is the reason I cannot fully give up lactose. And yes, I know you can get lactose-free cheese. It does not taste the same. It does not texturize the same way. And don't get me started on soy cheese. We need cheese, right? I want to drive to this factory and go and stock up on cheese, which is a big reason I wanted to learn to drive. There's a few other reasons. I used to drive like out of town, and then I had a car accident and I stopped driving out of town. And then recently I started pushing myself to drive out of town. One of the motivation factors is because I want to go to this cheese store. Yeah, there are some really good dairy-free options, but yeah, I haven't found a good dairy-free cheese that fulfills the need. So, and most of the time I don't. I have, like, we have the dairy-free yogurts. I don't really eat ice cream. I don't have milk in my coffee. Like, I don't eat a lot of dairy. It's just cheese. Cheese is my one, and that's okay. Yeah, it would be quite good to work at a supermarket for that reason, Yana. I could do that. If the supermarket would let me sit at checkout, I could totally do a supermarket work. And I have thought about actually, like, just doing that and leaving my job and just going and doing a shift at the supermarket. Because I think that would be quite good. Just do a little shift, just like once or twice a week, a couple of hours. Do, 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 do. I like our little purple and yellow pansies. I think they look quite pretty. Bring in a bit more of this pinky purple. And then really darken up these edges. I've gone a bit darker with these pansies over here, and that's okay. Just have to deepen them to compensate around the edges. I'm off till I can go back to work on part-time. Yeah, you definitely, as much as it sucks taking time off when you want to work, take the time you need. I currently work at a medical laboratory. I am a medical administrator is my technical term. I was what's called a specimen services technician. Pre-analytical specimen services technician was my technical term when I was in the lab, and basically what that means is once a sample is drawn from you when you go to a lab to have like a blood test or a swab, or you drop off a specimen, I could take that specimen and I could do all the processing on it until it went onto an analytical machine. Then once it comes off an analytical machine, that's when a scientist takes over. But that was my job. As I got this autoimmune condition, and medically it was decided best for me to not be in the lab so much and only work part-time. Now what I do is a lot more background administration. A lot of things at the laboratory these days are automated, so when a doctor places a form for you to have a blood test, a lot of the time it's automated, but there are still manual forms that need processing, and so I do a lot of those manual forms and basically assign tests to samples, because I can do that remotely, and then I do some administration stuff in the background. So I'm more of a medical administrator now, but I was a pre-analytical technician. In that role I also did a lot of other odd bits and pieces, so like driving the car to collect samples from medical centres, which is a courier role, but then I also did phlebotomy, which is where you draw the actual samples from people. We used to do postmortems, and so I used to help out with postmortems a bit as well, doing a lot of stuff like that. And yeah, it's a really fascinating role. It is not a role for everybody, but I really do enjoy the lab and the role. It's really interesting because I hated science in school, and this is a very science heavy role. Which amuses me that I'm in like a science role when I hated science so much in school. But yeah, it is very fascinating. Yeah. Are the polys working for you in that book? Yeah. I haven't got the new Lulu Mare book, so it looks cute though. I like Polly's on this paper, but I love Polly's and Kanoko's work, so I had a feeling I would like Polly's in the paper. And yeah, even though it's the Japanese version and my other ones are the English versions or the American versions, I don't know, but you know, they're in English, not Japanese. But in this book, love the Polly's on the paper. Yeah, I'm quite lucky with my job in the terms of the lab, because I work from home, I am able to work a lot more consistently than I would if I had to go into the lab. It's the only reason I am able to work as much as I do. So I am consistent in my job. I'm one of the more consistent peoples at the lab. And I'm like, well, I'm not also at the lab and I'm not exposed to stuff, and you know, I'm working from home, and so if I'm a bit under the weather, I still work because it's like I'm working from home. It's fine. A big rule for me is, because like there's a lot of times I just want to ring in and go, nah, I don't want to work today. And I'm casual, so I can do that. I have the right to basically ring up and go, nope, not working today. Just in turn, they have the right to ring me and go, nope, we don't need you today. But my rule is basically, if I would stream, I will work. So if I don't stream, I don't work, but I'm not allowed to stream and then not work. So yeah, we're working tonight. I have no reason to not work tonight though. I'm feeling fine. I had a week off for the surgery, but it wasn't like I had a week off just as like a holiday or anything, you know. I just had a week off because recovery. And my brain is kind of going, you need a holiday. And I realized I haven't actually had, like, I've had a day off here and there for one reason or another, but I haven't actually had, like, a good amount of time off in a while. I haven't just had, like, a holiday. So part of me is like, maybe I need to just take some time off, but got to factor that in. Also, Nissa, I don't know if I said hello. If I didn't say hello, hello. Yeah. Yeah, it's so cool that you were a therapist, Yana. Again, so the other thing is I work in the lab, but I actually have a bachelor in applied science and psychology. Again, another science degree, which cracks me up because, again, I hated science in school, and yet I have a bachelor in applied science. But I have a psychology degree, and I'm actually... My major was in child and adolescent's developmental psychology, and that was what I was moving into before I got this flare up. And so I forced myself to finish my degree while being very, very sick. And I was very lucky with my school, and also when COVID hit, because I was working full-time and studying full-time, and again, working in a medical laboratory during COVID. So it was a lot, and my school was really, really understanding of the fact that I worked in a medical laboratory and it was a national global pandemic. So they were like, don't worry about school, work in the lab, do what you got to do, and you know, we'll work out school later on. So they worked with me a lot with that, and then when I started getting ill, they were really good about working with me. In terms of like trying to balance classes and exams and work and still keeping up with things. So yeah, it wasn't an extramural school. Like, it wasn't a school that I had to go to class. It was all done online. So when COVID hit, it was really well set up for doing study and stuff like that. And yeah, they were really, really good about everything. And so I still managed to graduate. And in fact, I graduated as one of the tops in my class, which I was very, very proud of. I worked very hard to maintain my grade. And I was also the graduate speaker for my entire class. Not just for the Bachelor of Applied Science, but my whole graduating class. I was the speaker at graduation, which was really, really, really special. Because the school, they don't do like... You know how some schools do like a graduate speaker that's like the top grade or the top person. They don't do that. Instead, they look for a student who, yes, did well in class, but also overcome challenges, and somebody that they feel like, you know, they've done really well with everything. And so they reached out to me and they're like, you've been nominated and we believe that you should be our graduate speaker because of everything that you went through while still achieving your degree. So yeah, that was really awesome. Really, really special and really cool. So, but yeah, I do kind of like, I have this degree and I haven't done anything with it, but I do kind of like in my in my speech, I was talking about, because they asked me to sort of mention, you know, how you're using your degree, and I was like, well, I'm still at the laboratory, so I can't really say I'm not working in psychology, but there is a certain part of the degree that I use here on live stream, because we talk about creating spaces of mental positivity and focusing on mental wellness. So there is a certain element that I use here within stream that I think ties across. So that's kind of what I spoke about in my graduation speak is using, I think I said I use my online platform for promotion and discussion of mental wellness was how I worded it. But yeah, it's not traditional like working in a therapist's office or anything like that, but there is still an element of the degree we use here, and I would like to get to the point where I could use the degree properly and actually move into counselling and therapy and start work as a therapist. But I'm also aware right now the health comes first, and we're working within health limitations, and that's okay. Yeah. So we're going to use a little bit of this pinky purple that we used in the pansies, just to put like a little bit of a ground in. Just a little bit of a ground, not like a huge illusion of a ground, but we'll just do a little bit of a gradient here. Now just basically make it so Lily's not floating. I would love to travel to London. I'd love to travel to the UK. I'd love to travel full stop, but yeah, I think it would be really cool to go over to the UK. I'd have to go and visit all the UK-based peeps that I've met in colouring. Be like, I'm gonna be here on this date, let's do a colouring meetup. Also, what Kiwi treats am I bringing across for you? How many blocks of Whittaker's chocolate can I bring in a case? Well, honestly, we could work it out, because it's like, what? You're allowed 25 kilos on a flight? Maybe it's 20 kilos. And a block is about 250 grams. So you get 4 blocks to a kilo. And if you're allowed 25 kilos, 25 times 4 is 100. So I could bring 100 blocks of chocolate. It's only like $700 worth of chocolate. It's fine. Border wouldn't stop me thinking I was being an importer or something, right? I don't need to bring clothes or anything. We're fine. 20 kilos of chocolate, yeah. When the border's like, are you selling all that? It's like, nah, it's just gifts for people. There's a lot of people to give gifts to. Chocolate for you, chocolate for you, chocolate for you. Do you guys have Tim Tams craze as much as Oz? Yeah, we do have a lot of Tim Tams here. I have Tim Tams in the fridge. I do like a good Tim Tam. And mostly I like a Tim Tam slam, which is where you bite off the ends and you suck hot coffee or hot tea or hot chocolate, depending on your preference. But you drink a hot drink through it and it melts the center of the Tim Tam. Yeah, so good. I get the chewy caramel ones because, again, I drink black coffee. So black coffee through these biscuits, it melts the caramel and it goes all sticky and mushy and oh, so yummy. There's actually a new Tim Tam flavour that's just come out that I want to get, which is strawberries and cream, which is a white chocolate one, which I don't think will work quite as well for a Tim Tam slam, like strawberry and bitter chocolate, a bit of coffee, don't know, but I'm curious to try it. I tried them, it wasn't a fan. The chocolate, yeah, they are very sweet biscuits. I will fully admit they're very sweet biscuits. I can't do more than one, maybe two on a day, but I get like they're very sickly sweet. I'm fully with you on that. Like if I'm having a Tim Tam for chocolate, it's too sweet. I have a Tim Tam when I want a sweet treat. Yeah, there are quite a few places now that sell Tim Tams, but yeah, being Australia, we get them pretty easily. But it's cool to see them in more and more places around the world. Millie, hello! Found him at a TJ Maxx once. Have you tied a British penguin? No, but I have heard about penguins. And they are apparently similar to a Tim Tam, so yeah. I'm still gotta find root beer. I still haven't been to the supermarket that has the big import section, but when I do, I will get a root beer because I am curious. I don't think I'm going to be a big fan of root beer, but I will try it just to say I've tried it. But I only want to get like a single can or something. I don't want to get like a big one because it'll be a waste otherwise. But yeah, I have a sneaking suspicion I'm not going to be a big fan of root beer, but I will try it because I'm curious to try it. So I like trying snacks and treats from around the world. I think it's real fun. It's real fun to try all the different bits and pieces and then be like, I like that one or don't like that one. Yeah. Does New Zealand allow food coming in? Because I know Oz is really strict about it. They can be. There are quite a few different regulations. Nuts and seeds in particular, they're very pedantic about. Food, if it's a processed packaged food, is a little bit easier to come in than just like baking or things that you've just like tipped samples out of. But packaged foods can be a bit easier to get in. But yeah, seeds is a big one that they're really pedantic on because our you know, plant life, those are words. Our plant life is protected here. So and then fruit and veg, basically no. Don't send in fruit and veg. Some meat products are also very, very protected against as well. Just because of issues with disease. And again, like, you know, like our dairy, our lamb, our beef, these are all major exports. So they're very protected about that. But generally speaking, if things are in a package, you're a little safer with it. But yeah, they do definitely monitor those sort of things and stuff like that. But basically, like most of the time, if I get things sent to me that are like food wise, they're treats, they're snacks, you know, so they're pretty easy to get through. Yeah. Root beer is delicious. It has bubbles. Yeah, it has bubbles, so I'll probably like it. So yeah, I can send you a packet of penguins to try. You absolutely could. It would probably cost you a ridiculous fortune to send it to New Zealand because I don't think people realise just how expensive it is to ship things down here sometimes. So I would highly recommend you figure out and see if you can get a shipping quote before you decide on this, because shipping to New Zealand is expensive. Like, really, really expensive. And shipping from New Zealand is really, really expensive, because if I was to send a block of chocolate to the States, because I have quoted this up before, the block of chocolate will cost me like between about $5 to $8, depending at the time I buy it. It costs me nearly $40 just to send the block of chocolate. And that's just a 250 gram block of chocolate. Because of the cost of our shipping. So I know I sent it was just under 2 kilos, because at 2 kilos it doubled in price. So it was just under 2 kilos snack package to the States. It's like 1.9 kilos. And that cost nearly $160 to ship. That was expensive. But then after, like, as soon as it hit 2 kilos, it jumped up to $380. Yeah. Shipping's not fun. I wish we had, you know, like, I could press a button on my Steam Deck and just teleport stuff. Oh my god, I would just teleport you guys so much stuff. It'd be like constant candy factory. Alright, and then the pink. It's £8.50 for me to send you a pack of penguins. Not too bad. Okay, it's $3.35 to send the same. Okay, so that's not too bad shipping for you. I mean, it's still a lot, but could be worse, you know? No, I do plan on trying root beer. I just haven't got them. Again, with not driving, I haven't been out and about. But I'm pretty sure Woolworths in town, they have quite a big import section. So we just haven't been there because it's not our regular supermarket. So, yeah. But I'll get there. We're probably going to do groceries next Monday. We need to do a bit of groceries, so I might be able to pop into the other supermarket on the way. But yeah, I will, when I find it, I'll put it in the fridge so it goes crispy, because we love a crispy bubbly drink, and then we'll save it for a stream, and then I will try it on stream so you can see my reaction, and I'll see what other foods I can get that I can't normally get, and see what they've got there, and be like, I'm trying all these weird snacks that are weird to me because I don't normally have them. Maybe I could actually pick up a bunch of kiwi snacks at the same time, and we can just do a snack stream, like where I had the Lamington last stream. And I can show you some kiwi snacks. That would be a very expensive stream, but then also I have a justifiable excuse to eat snacks all stream, so I'm kind of behind this concept. Woolworths is a forever go thing? Yeah, so Woolworths is the Australian supermarket, and if I say Countdown, I'm also meaning Woolworths, because they were Woolworths and then they rebranded to Countdown. Now they've just rebranded back to Woolworths, which I don't know why they rebrand all the time, but yeah, they're not my regular supermarket because they're not actually that cheap. So we go to Pack and Save. That's our supermarket. It's a cheap supermarket. It's the, like, real budget, low brand supermarket where they just, like, things come in boxes and they just cut off the front of the box and shove the box on the shelf. It ain't fancy, but it's fine because the food's the same. You don't need the fancy shelving and the fancy packaging. It's like, just shove it from the cardboard box. It's all good. It's all good. Does the job. So much fun. I'm glad you're having fun, Nessa. Oh, I hear a nibbling. So we might have to end stream because I hear a small child. So it might be time to wrap up. Sorry, folks. I know it's a bit of a shorter stream today, but I have a nibbling to go and play with. So we'll just finish off this little bit of pink. But hey, we got Lily finished, so that's the main thing. And that will just leave a few details around these guys. But we got some good work done today. I'll zoom you back out so you can see. So we finished off Leon, got all the banners done. And we got Lily done with that little bit of pink around here. And I do like the pink around here. So, yeah. So we just got these two to go. Again, not much of a stream, just over 2 hours. But as I said, I had nibbling coming today. So I gotta go and play with a child now. But it'll be fun. And looking forward to seeing the nibbling. Plus I need to go to the bathroom. So it's actually perfect timing. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. We should be back on Friday. Hopefully we'll be finishing this off. I may pop around and do some more of it off stream. I've said this the last few streams and I haven't touched it. You never know. Oh look, Shadow's just popped in too. Oh, I'm not meant to do this. But we have to get you up to say bye. But yeah, so we should be back on Friday. I have no idea what we're doing. We'll do something. We'll be back. But thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful rest of your day. All the araha, which is love. All the araha to you all. And bye from Shadow and myself. And we'll see you in the next stream. Now I have to try and reach and do this. Alright. Oh my god, Kat, you're covered in wetness. See you next time.